Have you ever walked across a bridge that carries the weight of history? Not just steel and iron, but stories, forgotten whispers carried away by the river below. Victoria Bridge in Kuala Kangsar is one of those places built in 1900, back when the British were laying down tracks across Malaya. This bridge isn't just old, it's legendary. Once it was the lifeline for the tin industry, a route for steam locomotives carrying fortunes. Now, it stands silent, but if you listen closely, it still has stories to tell. Kuala Kangsar is a town that has seen the tides of time shift from the golden days of the Malay Sultanate to the iron grip of the colonial rule. But within its landscape, spanning the mighty Perak River, stands a structure that has witnessed it all, Victoria Bridge. Built in 1900, this railway bridge was a marvel of British engineering, designed to connect Malaya's vast tin mines to the world beyond. It was more than just a steel and iron structure. It was a symbol of progress, a gateway that fueled the colonial economy. Steam locomotives roared across it for nearly a century, carrying tin, rubber, and passengers bound for distant cities. But history has a way of leaving its scars, and Victoria Bridge still bears them. At the turn of the 20th century, Malaya was under the British control. The empire's ambitions were clear: to extract the land's wealth. Railways were the arteries that made this possible. Victoria Bridge was part of this grand design, linking the tin-rich town of Karai to the Straits of Malacca, where goods would be shipped to Britain. Every morning, the bridge trembled under the weight of loaded freight trains. At night, it echoed with the sounds of travelers, Malay traders, Chinese merchants, Indian laborers, each with their own story, their struggle in a colony that was not yet theirs. But time would change everything. In 1941, the world turned upside down. The Japanese invasion of Malaya was swift and brutal. British defenses crumbled, and by 1942, Singapore, the empire's impregnable fortress, had fallen. Malaya was now under Japanese occupation. Victoria Bridge became a crucial asset, and the Japanese used it to transport troops and supplies, reinforcing their hold on the peninsula. But resistance simmered beneath the surface. The Malayan people's anti-Japanese army and local guerrillas saw the bridge as a key target. One night in 1943, a small group of resistant fighters launched a daring sabotage mission. Using explosive smuggled from a British supply drop, they planned to destroy the bridge, severing a vital Japanese supply line. But something went wrong. The explosives detonated too early, damaging part of the bridge but not bringing it down. The Japanese responded with a wave of arrest. Dozens were executed in the aftermath. The bridge, though scattered, remained standing. After the war, as the British returned, the bridge was repaired and life slowly resumed. But the seeds of independence had been planted. Malaya was no longer just a colony. It was a land awakening to its own identity. By 1957, Merdeka had arrived. The Union Jack was lowered and the Malayan flag was raised. The same bridge that once carried the wealth of empire now carried a new hope, a people forging their destiny. For decades, trains continued to cross the Victoria Bridge until the march of modernity rendered it obsolete. In 2002, it was decommissioned and replaced by newer railways. The locomotives fell silent, the steel rusted, but the bridge remained, a relic of another time. Today, Victoria Bridge stands as one of the oldest railway bridges in Malaysia, preserved as a historical site. Walk across it and you can still see the original British flags and feel the rough iron walls beneath your feet. It is more than just a monument. It is a silent witness to Malaya's transformation. From the age of empire to the struggles of war, from colonial exploitation to independence. Victoria Bridge has stood firm, carrying the weight of history across the Perak River. And if you stand there long enough, listening to the wind that whistles through its beams, you might just hear the echoes of the past, the footsteps of railway workers, the distant roar of a locomotive, the silent whispers of those who never left. Because history never truly fades, it lingers in the places that refuse to be forgotten.